smoky clubs to fields of green, her life took a turn, but her rhythm's still the same. Feel the passion burn. On stage she was a queen, now the land's a throne. Every note she sang now echoes in seeds she's sown. Her journey's just begun, a new chapter in her song. Watch her dance with the seasons, right where she belongs. She was a jazz and blues singer, making her way around the world. The journey stopped, but the song did not. So what's going on with you, girl? She started a YouTube channel and learned how to grow veggies, fruits, and bread, and a bunch of chickens in a row. Diva of the stage to diva in the dirt. Same diva, new life, diva in the dirt. Singing sweet melodies now with the earth. From city lights to moonlit nights, she's found her worth. With every seed she plants, a new story grows. From the mic to the soil, a rhythm she knows. Diva in the dirt, watch her thrive and gleam. Same passion, new dreams on the homestead scene.
Well, welcome to Diva in the Dirt, my live stream. I'm glad to have you here. I just have to do a few little housekeeping chores here just for the moment. And I will go and see who is joining us and say our hellos. And then we have got lots of stuff to get through because we are doing the best survival crops to grow in your zone and why. So first up was Passamaquoddy, and she says, I saw you in my YouTube feed. That's unusual. And it's like, yay, that's a great thing. And then in came Storms, and of course our typical shout out to each other, Storms and Diva. And here comes South Florida Sunshine, and she will hopefully be up later with a whoop whoop. And of course, she's got a sign with her saying that she is in the Diva in the Dirt Club. She is a member of the Diva Club, which is fabulous. And then we've got people saying hello, and we want to welcome in Duncan 1900 Homestead. Good to see you, darling. Thanks so much for coming in. And we've got some more people saying hello, hello. And here we go, Saturday night, right here with Diva in the Dirt. Maureen Washington, Diva in the Dirt, copyright, Maureen Washington. Oh, those chicken waddles following Maureen are always so cute. They are so cute, and I'm so glad that we got a shot because I'm always in the front, so I never see their little tails coming in behind. So, and a lot more. So we have Fern, just Fern with autism. Diva got day 51 and 39. Welcome in. And just so you know, Fern, if you keep putting that out there, we will have to remove you. So we don't do duplicates, please. Yes, thank you very much. Right. Okay. So just so that you are aware, again, Fern and Rudy, if you repeat things, we'll have to remove you from the chat because we can't have that blocking and clogging up the chat, just so you are aware and that. So, yes. So it was kind of in the wee small hours of the morning when I was thinking, what am I going to do my live? Thank you very much. What am I going to do in regards to my live? And, I watched Shawnee Grows and both Carol and they've all been talking about, like last night, Shawnee was talking about victory gardens, which I'm proud to say that I have a victory garden. I just thought it was an urban homestead, but I fall in the category of a victory garden. And also, with both channels, we always talk about our grow zones and what are good things to grow. And so I think what ends up happening is that some people, whatever grow zone they're in, so if they're in a certain grow zone, they go, here are the best crops. And it's like, but what about, my zone? Or what about a zone that's up in Alaska? And so, so then I just kind of thought, why don't I just come up with, go and do some research and find out what are some of the great survival crops that we need to grow? Because as Shawnee was doing her live last night, they were talking about, promoting victory gardens in World War I and World War II to offset the food shortages. And it's like, well, 2025, there's food shortages. And so for new growers, and for those of you that are watching the replay, maybe you are a new grower, I want to encourage you and help you kind of give you some ideas of what are some really good things for you to grow that are long-term storage, or they're just really good for calories and things like that. You can grow your lettuces and radishes and peas and things like that. Those are wonderful things. So yes, this is a live chat. And for those of that you, as you come in, if you could please click that thumbs up, that will also help the algorithm to share this out, because I feel like it's really good information that I can share with others. So golden time of the day. Welcome in, Ms. J.K. Gardner. Thank you for coming in. And Mushroom Mark. I don't know what that symbol is, but it won't come to me. But I was gonna go, isn't it Vulcan? But well, yes, and welcome. Thank you for welcoming Mushroom Mark into this one. The ladies might be up later on to see, that you guys can all see their pretty faces and whatnot. So, but I want to get started with this because I grabbed a bunch of information. And so what I want to start out, before I do what is best for your zone, I want to just talk about overall best survival crops to grow and why. Another thing I think I might do is I think I'm going to go back into my studio here, because I do know that monetization is on. And I'm going to turn the monetization off. Could someone remind me to turn it back on afterwards so I don't forget? Because I would like, I don't want you to miss anything. And while I'm doing this, for those of you that like to take notes, Shawnee, um, go ahead and, oh no, she's already got her pen and paper. But just a reminder, go get your pad of paper and things like that, because there will be some good notes that you might want to remember. And if you're anything like me and you go, no, I'll remember. No, you won't. Quit lying to yourself, Maureen. I am forever lying to myself about that. So, all righty. Let me just, one more little housekeeping while you go and get your own fancy little bevy if you want one, and your pad of paper and pen. Or if you're like me, you have scrap paper that you write little notes on, hoping that you don't lose them. This is an important one because next week I won't be doing a live because I will be doing a gig at the university. So, I can't find it. What I'm looking for. Oh, there it is. So I just want to do it this way so I can kind of keep an eye on the chat so I don't get too far behind y'all. I'm going to try. So, and I'm just catching up, making sure. So yeah, I think I've caught everybody. So the best survival crops to grow and why. So the key considerations for survival crops is you want something that is easy to grow and maintain, high in calories and nutrients, heavy producers, and it stores well and is easy to prepare. Those are some of the key things when you are picking out what veggies. And of course, right off the top, number one, not that these are in any particular order, but one that would be is potatoes, the white, sweet, or yams. These potatoes are high in calories, easy to grow, and they store well. And that is always something you want to think about, is when there is when you're in that hunger gap and you're not able to grow something, or I know that, like, a few years back it was the toilet paper rush, and right now it's the egg rush, where eggs are now worth, it's like, hi, do you have gold? We will only take your gold for those dozen of eggs. So potatoes are one of the great things. They can be grown in containers. So the people who you go, I only have a little patio. Well, you can get yourself a container and grow them. They're great in raised beds or the ground. I personally, I grow mine in straw. So I don't even actually put them into the soil. I have a big mound of straw. I put my hand in, swirl it around, drop the potato in, and let the straw kind of overtake it. And the roots in itself will go into the soil, but when it comes time to harvest them, it's me just moving the straw out of the way. And that's called the Ruth Stout method, which is wonderful. You're preserving for them. You can cure, which means you're just sitting them out for a few days and store them in a root cellar, or you can dehydrate them or can them for long-term use. And you follow, canning instructions and that, which is really good. Number 2 would be corn. Not always easy to grow in all climates, but in all zones. But with the corn, you would you when you're growing it, this can be something where you're eating it fresh. I'll just go. Provides both fresh eating sweet corn and long-term calories. Is where you have dent, which I don't know what that was. I didn't research that. Flour, corn, or for grinding. A couple of things with your corn. You do need to have full sun and good spacing and pollination. You plant it in blocks, so you always want to have 4 corn in a row. So if you're doing rows, it was like 4, 4, 4, 4, because the tassels need to be able to fall down to one another and to be able to fertilize. And preserving using cornmeal. 2 years ago, my corn, I let it go way too long, and so it was way too dry. And I dried it and ground it up as cornmeal, and it was wonderful. Or you can freeze it and you can can it. Number 3, sweet potatoes, which I'm on the quest to make my slips right now. I just put them out. I'm hoping I'm going to get this one right. I did have a question for you, Homestead Aquarius, but I didn't ask it last night. I think it was one I was going to ask you, but I'll try to. I think it was like some people say to cover them completely. Some people say don't cover them. So I need you to let me know that, sir. They're perennials in warm zones, and they are high in vitamin A and C, and they produce a lot in a small space. The tip to it is slips are easy to grow. No, from store-bought potatoes, not really. And to preserve them, you want to cure them for long-term storage to can or dehydrate. And I've seen some farmers on YouTube here who are backyard gardeners, and they go, I'm still eating my yams from last year. Like they just are great for preserving. So that is something you do want to grow. I just personally have had difficulty in trying to start them. So which brings me to another thought, for anybody out there. It's like, if you can make slips, because it's not, well, I don't know about in the States, but I know up in Canada, you can't go to the nursery and buy slips. I saw one person about 4 years ago on Facebook Marketplace, and she was growing slips, and I went, there is a really good moneymaker, because for people who want to grow their own sweet potatoes, to have someone that's got the slips established for you to take, that's a really great thing to do. Number 4, beans. Pole beans, bush beans, cowpeas, chickpeas, or lentils. These are protein-rich, high-yield, and nitrogen-fixing for the soil health. One tip, pole beans maximize vertical space. So again, when you are limited for space, if you're on a little deck, you've got your potatoes there, you can throw a pole bean into the soil and it's going to grow up. You can have a few of them going. And another wonderful thing about them is that they are cut and come again. So the more you pick, the more it's going to continue to produce all through the season. So you're eating fresh, and then you're going to preserve them by drying them, freezing them, or you can can them as baked beans or pressure can them into soups. So, which is great. Number 5, which this was my first year to grow amaranth, doing grains. So amaranth, quinoa, barley, and millet. I haven't had the opportunity to grow any of those, and I'm wondering, for those of you in the chat, are there any of you that have grown any of these and had success? They are protein-packed alternatives to wheat, drought-tolerant, and highly productive, With the amaranth and quinoa, they're easy in various climates. Millet and barley do well in colder areas. And for preserving, you want to do flour with them. So let me just go back to our little chitty chat. I'm seeing notes. I'm seeing notes. So what I'm gonna have to do. Oh, yes. Oh, that's awesome. I'm reading them backwards and it's like, oh, okay, we'll come up in here. So Wild West Homestead Mama, thank you so much for coming. I forget almost instantly. Isn't that funny? Me too. I was listening to a song on the radio and it was just a moving song. And it was like, I said the title and the name, went into the store, came back out, went, I remember the name of the band. And by the time I'm driving, and then I think I went and got gas, I'm outside after the gas and I went, I don't remember the name of the band, all in a matter of 30 minutes. Said it out loud a few times. It's good that you're a note taker. I'm not a good note taker. And yes, like Carol, you take notes and you misplace the notes. And that's pretty much how I work with it. So, as well. And we've got some people saying hello to Wild West Homestead Mama. Yes. And Duncan says, I have sat down at the table and made a grocery list, got up and went shopping while my list laid there on the table. Good morning, Richard. Welcome, welcome. Everybody welcoming in Richard to saying hello. Here's the note. You have to soak the sweet potatoes from the store to get off any weird spray. Oh, I bought, so I'm glad it's okay. I bought organic ones. They weren't as big and they were a little bit different, but I have a feeling that I didn't buy sweet potatoes. I have a feeling I bought yams. I did scratch a little bit on it to go, are you orange or are you yellow? Because I want orange. Miss Sharon, I miss saying hello to you. Also is a member of the Diva Club. Welcome in. And she's the moderator with the mostest. She is a fabulous moderator. She covers everybody. And she also reminds us to check at the top that you are in the live chat or all messages. You want to have the live chat on, I believe. And more Wild West Homestead Mama saying hello. Duncan 1900 Homestead, she says, I plant sweet potatoes shallow to make the slips, but then I plant the slips deeper for growing the potatoes. Yes, and that's what I plan to do, but it's the slips. It's the slips that slip away from me being able to grow them. So, and South Florida Sunshine, she says, you just reminded me, I forgot to throw out my Love's Lies Bleeding Amaranth. Love's Lies Bleeding Amaranth. You're throwing it out? You're just, throw it out. Yes. She meant throw it out into the soil. It was like, are you throwing it in the garbage or do you mean like you're casting it out? So, Miss Sharon says, I take notes. I just can't read them. Oh, so you write like a doctor. South Florida Sunshine says, I have brought my list into the store and lost it between the car and the store. And South Florida, she also says, we will chat about those yams versus sweet taters again. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. And so I'm going to leave off. We're at number 6. Root vegetables, carrots, beets, turnips, rutabagas, Jerusalem artichokes, or are also known as fartichokes by my children, because they will make you gassy, which I think if you eat Jerusalem artichokes, or they're also called sunchokes, on a regular basis, I think that the disturbance in the belly, I think that kind of goes away after time, but we've never experimented. These are all nutrient dense, hardy, and store well in cool conditions. The tip to it is mulch deeply for the winter storage in the ground, and storing in damp sand in a cool basement, ferment or can. I have heard people say about the sand, it's like you're going to need a lot of sand to keep it cool. Number 7, some of the things that I love to grow, just because I've been successful with it. I think that's why, it's like, why do you love to grow? Oh, because it's easy. Is our squash, winter squash, and pumpkins. And this is one of the main reasons I do love them is the long storage life. I've had a squash sit in my larder for over a year, and they are high in calories. Tip: sprawling vines need space, but bush varieties exist. So looking when you're looking for your seeds, it's like and this is a like it was a new thing for Maureen. I didn't know that with the squashes that there are vining ones and then there are bush ones. I found that out I think about a year and a half ago. I just always thought they all vined. Um, Preserving, you can store it whole, but when you store it whole, you want to wipe it down with apple cider vinegar. We do a quick rinse, let them dry, and then I just take a cloth and keep wiping them. And that's going to remove any bacteria that might be in from the soil that could actually kind of move the or make it rot. And I can contest that it is a good thing because 2 years ago, that's when I had my squash last well over a year. I had a spaghetti squash that we ate in August from the previous year, where last year I got lazy and I didn't wipe them down. And so then that's where the squash is spoiled. And so this year I still have squash that are thriving beautifully. I have a short in my in on my playlist that will show you, just how I preserved and wiped down all of my squashes with apple cider vinegar. Number 8, cabbage and collard greens. These are hardy, nutritious, and can survive cold weather. So for those of you in those cooler climates, you want to have these kinds of things growing. Collards tolerate the heat, while cabbage can overwinter in some zones. For the preserving, you want to ferment into sauerkraut, freeze, or dehydrate the leaves. We actually have taken cabbage, and instead of using a Napa cabbage to make kimchi, we've actually made kimchi with our cabbage. Number 9, peanuts and sunflower seeds. I have grown peanuts, and I have grown a sunflower plant once. I struggle with those too. So these, of course, are protein and fat sources essential for survival diets. The tip: peanuts love sandy soil. Sunflowers need full sun, being sunflower. You can dry and roast them for long-term storage. And I think I still have my peanuts sitting up on the little ledge. I roasted them and never ate them. I should actually open them and go, "Are you guys still good?" Number 10, perennial fruits: figs, berries, apples, pawpaws. And I was introduced to pawpaws last week, and mulberries. And apparently I can grow pawpaws here on Vancouver Island. High yield, long-term food sources that return yearly. Grow the tip: choose disease-resistant varieties suited for your grow zone. So it's like go to your nurseries and find those trees. You're preserving, you can dehydrate, freeze, can, and turn into jams and jellies. So preserving methods to cover root cellaring, which, many of us probably don't have that opportunity, but, something that is cool. So a cooler area. I've turned a bedroom into a larder, and so in the wintertime, it's cool enough that I can just open the window, and I use that as the gauge. I have a little thermometer in there, so if it starts to warm up a bit, I open it more. If it's getting too cold, I close it more. In the summertime, I put in an air conditioner in the window to keep all of my canning and all my vegetables cool. Fermenting is great for cabbage, and of course, fermenting is so good for your digestion. You should be eating a quarter cup of ferment throughout the day with every meal. So beets and cucumbers, dehydrating works for fruits, greens and grains. You're canning, water bath and pressure canning. And I was just chatting with my mom again about this because, a lot of people who haven't tried pressure canning, they go, it's like, I can't afford one. Or it's like, I don't know if I want one of these things. You can water bath everything. And I know like there's people that are going to go, "Oh, don't say it." Because my great grandmother didn't have a pressure canner because they didn't exist. And she canned, she would grow her own chickens and harvest them and can up the meat. And she did all her vegetables. And also, if you look in European countries, none of them they don't have pressure canners over there. In their canners, you just have to make sure you're boiling it long enough. So it might be in that 3 hours or longer when you are doing meat. So even if you're new to this, you can move into canning and using a water bath. So essential for beans and meats and low acid veggies is more for the pressure canning, but you can also freeze, which is best for berries, greens, prepared meals. So we were just going to tip ourselves over back to um, our chat. And it's just going to take me a moment to find out. Oh, I'm pretty close. Okay, yes. So Richard says, grew potatoes in sacks. Ooh, we try harvest tomorrow. Don't know if the potatoes, if there are potatoes or not. Very excited. I'm excited for you because that's kind of cool. Like, and there is so many different ways, creative ways that you can grow. You don't have to buy all the fancy things. Like I use a lot of recycled pots, the pots that people bring their plants home in. I'm kind of the plant pot depot. You know, people say, "Hey, I've got some extra pots. You want them?" And I go, "Yep." I need to have a warehouse just for those. Yeah. Oh my gosh, doctors have the handwriting of serial killers and used to work in the oh my gosh, yes, says Wild West Homestead Mama. Yes, they do. It's like who can read it? Apparently, I think pharmacists can. So Miss Sharon says, right, my brain goes much faster than my hand. Shawnee Grows has piped in and says, I think the potato survival crop is very common across the world. I'm seeing it on the list for Ireland, Scotland, Britain, South Africa, Australia, and Canada. And of course, for United States, where you are. So, and Shawnee asks, Richard, it's harvest time? So Richard must live, well, he did say good morning. So he's in a totally different part of the earth. Yes, and Mushroom Mark says taters are so universal when cooking. They certainly are. And Shawnee Gross says Mushroom Mark has lots of history with the potato. Wild West Homestead Mama, she says, I love a cabbage. Ooh, and Shawnee has put up a squash storage hack. Oh, is it mine? I don't know if it's mine. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know. Duncan Homestead, Duncan 1900 Homestead says, I have a squash that has been sitting on my counter for going on 2 years now. That is fantastic. And Miss Sharon, she says, I just can't bring myself to eat cooked cabbage, but I do can it for coleslaw. Well, that's a very interesting uh the thing that I love it braised. Like we'll braise it and a little bit of oil and butter and salt and pepper and kind of cut them as steaks and oh, they're just delicious. Just delicious. Shawnee is commenting to Wild West Homestead Mama. Great choice. Cabbage is high in fiber, vitamins B6 and C, and minerals, and it has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. Shawnee's also congratulating Duncan 1900 Homestead with the world record for having a squash sitting on her counter for 2 years. Richard chimes in and he says, yes, potatoes and getting 2 chilies per day that turned red. Also have Roma tomatoes and little cocktail tomatoes. Well, we need to know, Richard, what country do you live in? So, and I missed something there, but Mushroom Mark does say to Miss Sharon, what about egg rolls? Oh, about would you eat cabbage as an egg roll? So, and she answers back and she says, nope. Wild West Homestead Mama, I was gifted and electric. So I'm assuming that's a canner. We actually got a Presto canner and it's been hardly used for $50. But my first pressure canner is the All American, which I do love. But there are days where we go, if we had 2 canners going, we could, blast through all of the canned goods. Duncan 1900 Homestead, she says, I don't think it's a record, but I'm hoping to harvest the seed and plant them this year. That's kind of cool. Yes. And then Shawnee Grow, she also says, here in Minnesota, when buying seed peanuts, they are treated so they do not rot in our cold, damp soil. That's kind of cool. The fungicide breaks down and wears off long before harvest time. Well, that is very good. Yes. And Duncan 1900 Homestead, she's congratulating Richard. And also Shawnee is also saying to Richard, daily harvests are joyful. What would be in your survival crop list? That's what I would like to know. But yes, plant the seeds. Richard says South Africa, Western Cape. So anyway, and Shawnee also says 16 are watching. Thank you for coming tonight. Thumbs up can help Maureen's channel. Yes, it certainly does. And Miss Sharon is always sharing out people's links as we go along. And let me just grab here. Shawnee Grows. She says to Richard, would you say maize, sugarcane, potatoes are grown in massive amounts in your area? So that would be very interesting. And piping in there from South Florida Sunshine, she says Shawnee makes egg rolls, only seen the filling and it looks amazing. Awesome. Yes, I see that, darling. I'm going to go through our next one. Shawnee says, I would appreciate less work when preserving a survival garden harvest. Of course, preserving techniques open up many possibilities. I would agree. But I think, if we think back to people in those early 1900s, this was just a way of life to survive. And I think that with our modern day conveniences, it's like we look at it, it's like, oh, this just takes forever. So, it's like, suck it up, princess, and just can this stuff. It'll be wonderful. Serena Norrell, welcome. She's saying hi to all the cousins. And right there, I'm going to go and continue on to our list because I want to talk about your grow zones. So those cold climates, zones 3 to 5, and we've got lots of them here. So unfortunately, they are on the short growing season, 90 to 120 days. Frost risk. They need cold, hardy, or quick growing crops. Strategies is use extenders like row covers, cold frames, greenhouses, and choose fast maturing or fast frost resistant crops. Root crops for winter storage. Man, Maureen cannot speak. So the best survival crops for these in zones 3 to 5 are the potatoes and the sweet potatoes. They store well and they're high calorie. Carrots, beets, turnips, rutabagas, cold hardy, and things that can stay in the ground. Cabbage and kale, frost tolerant, nutrient dense. Because I know, like I've seen in up in Alaska, they would have cabbages or they would have Brussels sprouts, and they would go out and there's just snow, and they'd move the snow, kick off the snow off of the vegetables, and they would go harvest them. So basically, they were being frozen outside, ready to come in and cook, which is kind of cool. For you, zones 3 to 5, peas and lentils, they can handle the cool temps and are also a good source of protein. Winter squash and pumpkins, and because they store for months. Barley, rye, and oats, things I've never grown before. Cold hardy grains for flour. And for your preserving, again, you would want to be doing root cellar storage, fermenting, and dehydrating the greens. How many of you, and those of you, if you are watching the replay, you can put down your comments because I will see them later on. How many of you in zone 3 to 5 grow most or all of these things, or Or is there something that you are going to grow in the future? You're gonna go, "That's it. I'm gonna be growing my potatoes this year." Let me know down in the chat. And I'm gonna stop there and go back to our chat. Do, 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 do. South Florida sunshine. Back to Shawnee saying, "Why can't it be easier? I would just prefer less toil overall." Richard says to Shawnee, "In in the valleys is wheat and grapes, table grapes and grapes for wine. On the mountain, deciduous fruits for export to Europe." Ah, Shawnee says drying and salting was way common, right? Yes, I think it was. Yes, it was. Ah, Storm's Radiant Cats. You were here at the beginning, but I don't know if you stepped away. Maybe you had maybe your cats were like, "Hey, we need your attention." People saying hello to Serena. Fermenting is what I shall try more of. Do you like fermenting, Shawnee? That would be my next question. Because to me, fermenting is delicious and it is an easy prep. You know, it's the chopping and then just sticking it in the salt, making sure it doesn't mold. Ah, Passamaquoddy is back. Sorry, lost track of the time. I was talking to my youngest daughter, Tanya. Well, that's wonderful to spend a little bit of time with your baby girl, which is wonderful. And Shawnee says to Richard, "Oh, good to know about the grapes." Everybody's saying hello to Passamaquoddy. And Serena Norell, she says, "My favorite vegetables are the squashes. I have never had spaghetti squash, but I like zucchini, yellow acorn, and zucchini squash." Very nice. And this question, South Florida Sunshine, is she's talking to Shawnee saying, "Yes, so good for the body. Hopefully mine in the future." Looking back at the liver topic again. Oh, that would be an interesting how to support and heal our livers. And as you're going through, you are going to see Serena say, tell jokes, which vegetable shows up when you least expect it? A turnip. That's cute. Richard, there is a winery nearby that's won awards for best organic wine in the world called Org Dirac. I don't know if you have to roll the R, but I tend to roll the R if it's not from my country. South Florida Sunshine. I have a surprise squash, I believe. I do not remember dropping one in my container with my mulberry starts. That's very interesting. And Shawnee also agrees that a liver conversation would be fantastic. Um, yeah, thank you very much, Shawnee. That's awesome. I'm gonna keep it off for right now, but do keep reminding me. Let's go back and let's go and look at those, probably more they're the temperate climates, zone 6 through 7. You wanna grow a mix of the warm and cool season crops and extend your harvest with succession planting. They're kind of in that, kinda sweet spot. Best survival crops of zone 6 to 7 is the corn, where you can dent and see sweet. Dent meaning right. Can be dried for storage. Pole beans and bush beans, cowpeas and chickpeas. They're great protein and easy to dry. Garlic and onions, they store well and also have medicinal benefits. Your sweet potatoes and regulars, reliable calorie source. Squash, summer and winter, high yield, long storage. Sunflowers for your seed, protein and oil. So very similar, to some of the things that I've already mentioned, but in specific to this zone. Preserving, canning beans and squash, drying sunflowers, fermenting cabbage. There's that ferment. Really good way to preserve nutrients and then also get good gut bacteria for your tum tum. And the warmer climates, zones 8 through 10, they have a long growing season, 200 to 365 days. My goodness. They have high heat, risk of drought. So strategies: you want to choose heat tolerant, drought resistant crops. Plant perennials for year round harvest. Use shade cloth and deep mulch. That's another thing. Some of their best survival crops are sweet potatoes and yams because they thrive in heat and they grow like a vine. Okra loves the heat and is high in fiber. Cassava or yucca, it's high in calories, drought resistant. The cowpeas, which are black eyed peas, they're heat loving protein source. The peanuts, protein fat, easy to grow in warm climates. Your perennials greens are the chia, moringa, Malabar spinach. They're nutritious and they survive the heat. That would be a question I would have for you, Miss Carol. Is the Malabar spinach, is that a spinach that you can grow? And of course, for those in this zone, bananas, figs, citrus, perennial high yield fruit trees, and you're preserving. You want to dry your moringa leaves, ferment your okra, and freezing or drying your fruit. And arid and desert climates like zones 9 to 11. Of course, they get extreme heat, low water, alkaline soil, need drought tolerant, deep rooted crops. Strategies is, if you get rainwater, collect that and put it through a drip irrigation. Choose drought resistant, low maintenance crops. Grow perennials for long term food security. And some of their best survival crops are tepary beans. I've never heard of those. Native to deserts, protein packed. So that's why I've never heard of them. Mesquite pods, these are high calorie, can be ground into a flour. Prickly pear cactus, edible pad, and fruit drought resistant. Um, the moringa trees, the tree of life, grows in poor soil. Sweet potatoes survives dry conditions. Amaranth and millet, ancient grains because they are drought tolerant. And for them, preserving drying mesquite pods for flour and fermenting cactus pads. How do you, we're almost done all my little bits here. How to adapt if you're in a difficult zone. Um, Microclimates matter. Use walls, fences, or greenhouses to create warmer spots or even cooler spots if you are in a hotter climate. Grow in containers and move sensitive plants around as needed. Use perennials. Grow food that comes back yearly, reducing the work and water use. Focus on soil health, deep mulch composting, cover crops to retain moisture, and experiment with uncommon crops. And that is our list of things that you can grow in your own zone. Again, I don't know if there is anybody here that is in more of that arid desert type. And what do you use for your like? Do some of you actually grow some of those things in your garden? That's what I'm wanting to say. Boo, boo, boo. I'm just trying to see here. I'm just gonna. What I'm first gonna do is I'm going to. Oh, now I've lost my screen. You guys aren't even there anymore. Where are you? Where are you? Click this one on. Nope. I keep coming up with the wrong. Boop 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 boop. Ooh, I don't like knowing that. Boop, doot, doot. There I am. Oh, nope, that isn't me. It isn't me. I don't know where I went. Oh, there I am. So, I'm just gonna go grab the link because yes, I will go and turn on my, um oops. I think I had a spider on me or something like that on my leg. There we go. So I have sent over, restore the chat here, and then I want to go here. And let me just get rid of that last banner, hide it. And I will go through all the comments here and address whatever I can address. And maybe some of you have been addressing some of the comments throughout, but just give me a quick momento. Hmm. I guess I deleted my tab. So then it just takes me a second. I should have left it up. So I just want to turn back on the monetization here. Because I do appreciate your patience and with allowing with watching commercials, because it does help to support me and my family. All righty. Okay. Oh, Shawnee, you're up in there and you got all some sorts of good things to say here. I did have to go through some seeds. Okay, I think I'm catching up to where we were. Yes, that's what you said. And then Shawnee had mentioned about the surprise squash to South Florida Sunshine. Passamaquoddy, it's minus 5 degrees here in New Hampshire. That's awful. That's terrible. Ugh. Shawnee says, I want to like the fermenting. I want it in my life, right? Because it's easy and healthy. Oh, Miss Sharon is shocked at Passamaquoddy's temperature. And Shawnee's like, what? And Serena told us what movie she just finished watching. And South Florida Sunshine says, I did have to throw out some squash seeds. So I did cast them into soil, but did not do it there. Wonder if a squirrel maybe moved it around. Mhm. And Serena says, that squash was supposed to be butternut squash. Right. So Shawnee also says, I have high hopes to grow things like barley or rice or oats or wheat. Yeah, I just, for me, I guess it's my mentality. It's like, um, with wheat, it's like you have to grow a lot of wheat to get yourself a cup of flour, I think. And maybe I'm wrong. So that's where I just go, yeah, I'm not going in that direction, which is kind of why I was looking at trying the amaranth last year. So, and Shawnee does say yes to South Florida Sunshine. The squirrels will move seeds for sure. Serena's joke was, why was the grain hard to find? Because it was barley there. um, so South Florida Sunshine, I hope it's the big crookneck squash seeds and it makes it. God bless it, she says. Miss Sharon, she is in 8B, so you're in one of those nice zones where you do get those chill hours. And Richard says, I did have some success with rainbow corn. They are beautiful. That's nice. And South Florida Sunshine, woohoo, Zone B, that's me, sort of 11A, sort of, Hades, Zone Hades, because it's pretty warm down there. And Shawnee asks, Miss Sharon, what would be on your survival crops list? And cowpeas, black-eyed peas seem to be very common in the South. Yes. Yeah. Um, that was one of my dad's favorite things that he brought from the South to us in Canada. Serena says, what is a bovine's favorite bean? Cowpeas. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage another pink lady, Carol, South Florida Sunshine, wearing her diva.
It is so cool. Was so
Her
cool.
dirt merch.
Get your dirt merch. Hey,
welcome.
We thank you. This is a great topic. One close to my heart. When you were, I have to go back before I forget. The yams versus sweet potatoes. Can you hear me? Because I'm on this other one instead of the.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yams. They did allow that name to be used for the orange sweet potato, but a yam for us is totally different. It's the yams that I've talked about before, and David the Good has turned us on to down here, a tropical yam. grows all kind of ugly. You have to take the skin off, and there's like latex and stuff. You have to boil it to eat it. Um, I mean, sweet potatoes are hard, and you have to do the same thing, but it's a totally different experience with the yam.
Mm.
They do come in different colors too, just like sweet potatoes do. Their vines, though, produce little bulbules, like I talked about on my channel, where I showed that
Mm-hmm.
whole thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But sweet potatoes, I've had luck with the white ones down here, and I don't like them. Like, I've
For
done really,
flavor?
really well. Yeah. I don't like the sweet potato. They're like, I guess it's a Japanese sweet potato where it's a
Mm.
kind of, I don't know what you would call that color. It's like a reddish color on the outside, scarlet, maybe scarlet color on the outside, white on the center.
Mm-hmm.
Really popular in Japan. They love them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not bad. It's just not the typical sweet potato like the orange, like you
Right.
said,
Right.
that I'm used to for casseroles for Thanksgiving down
Right.
here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, YouTube.
But the thing is that growing up for me, um, see, I'm not going to be able to get it right. We always ate the orange one, and I think
Mhm.
we called them. I
Yeah,
think we called
people do call them yams, and a lot of that started with they allowed it to be called a yam, and
yeah.
then also the canned yams that came in the syrup were called yams, so it kept it confusing.
Yes. And
Yes.
but you go, but it's like, are we having sweet potatoes or having yams? Like, "Bleh," whatever.
It's,
Oh,
you
you do
take a
not
guess.
like Malabar, and you tried it raw.
But I tried it raw. I didn't cook it. It's the same thing with like earlier we were talking in my short. I left you the message back that I did the same thing with the banana flour. I bit it just to see what it was like. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not doing that again. I got to figure out something else for that. Like,
Um, one thing was I don't know about Malabar spinach, but I
I
know,
love
like,
sweet potato.
but Marissa's, sometimes it's not good to live with an herbalist because it's like, okay, we're gonna grow spinach and kale. She goes, no, mom. With spinach, because of the oxalates on
Oh yeah,
it,
they're high in oxalates. Yeah.
and so they're sharp, sharp, sharp. So you can do spinach, but you should actually eat it as a creamed spinach dish.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
same with probably the
Well, then that would include beets too, because beets are loaded with oxalates,
kale.
even though they're, that's why when you're juicing and you're juicing raw, you never juice more than, you're not supposed to juice more than a quarter of a beet unless you're using other vegetables in it to break
Wow.
down those oxalates. Because yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay, let me just see
cute.
if I'm
That's,
probably super behind the chat, sorry.
it's okay.
Um, so Richard, you were saying to
Yeah, we
Richard
were
that
talking about climate. I didn't
more
get
like
to
a
see the answer.
Mediterranean, it can be dry, but then we are like tropical rainforest in the hottest months, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why I said God bless it, because what's
Mhm.
coming its way, I don't
Mhm.
know if it's gonna make it, and I'm not gonna sit there and
Mhm.
spray and babysit it
That's right.
unless
Miss Sharon is gloating. She's saying, I think I'm in the perfect zone. It's the weather that gets lots and jumps from one extreme to the other. She's in the perfect zone.
we like your zone for fruit trees, Miss Sharon. That's for sure. I like your zone for fruit trees.
And
I would love to go ahead.
you'd love to grow some jewel corn.
Yes.
I've never heard of jewel
It's
corn.
just so pretty. It's kind of like the multicolored corn that they were talking about, like the rainbow
Hmm,
colored corn that you can use as a decoration. Native Americans used to use them as beads too.
right.
They
Can
carved
you
them.
eat it?
I believe you can. I mean, I believe it's maize, a corn. Yeah. I've never
Mhm.
eaten it. I've never heard of people eating it. Like maybe they use it for popcorn. Shawnee would know that better because she's in the, corn area and knows more about
Mhm.
corn than I do.
Mhm. That's a very good point there.
Yeah.
Hey, Larks Homesteadish, good to see you.
Yay,
You-
larks.
Good to see you. And thank you for your. I always love your little smart ass comments on my videos. I always appreciate that.
I know she keeps
Yeah, yeah. So,
entertained. That's it, gem
and
corn. Yeah, that's
oh,
pretty.
hey, LouTube7484. Good to see you. And I thank you for, think you commented on one of my videos the other day. This is a young up and coming YouTuber that
Mhm.
lives here on Vancouver Island.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes.
how we got him.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Like,
yeah, and his grandma comes over and buys bread, and so we got to
oh,
meet the other
sweet.
day in person. So that was kind of cool to see him. So thanks for popping in there, Lutu.
Larks answered right away. The gem corn is pretty, but it's a dry corn. She corrected herself.
Not a dry corn.
Yeah, not a
Well,
dry.
with your accent, it might be dry.
Yeah, I'm a dry corn.
Yeah. Is this an 18 and up
I
chat?
just, oh, because we were concerned that if you didn't know, because he was young. That's all.
Yeah.
What Shawnee's saying, I just actually planted that too. I forgot to say galangal, Shawnee. I planted my little start today. I have that. It's a type of ginger, galangal. And I planted my shampoo ginger. We'll see.
Oh my gosh, how exciting.
We'll see. It's down
Mhm.
below my bananas.
Yeah. Yeah. So, for those of you also to keep in mind that we are multi aged group here. So, I'm just trying to catch up to because I think I'm super, super behind. I have no idea.
Well,
Oh,
I'm
I
gonna
think,
go over here. She's naming
thank
off
you.
like stuff in the zones that you just covered because they're
Hmm.
pretty equal. The purple yam, long
Hmm.
beans, we're supposed to actually plant those. The purple yam is what I have. It's not the purple yam from Japan. It's the purple, but they can do both. That's the true purple yam, the Discoria alata that I have that I was talking
Cool.
about.
Cool.
Uh, and then the long beans are we can plant those now in South Florida as we hit the heat. I wish I liked them better. They're
What is a long
good.
bean? What is a long bean?
I believe they're talking about like the asparagus beans, like what people know as like the asparagus beans or the Chinese long bean.
Hmm.
Um they get like this
Yeah.
long. And they
I
have dark like red and they also have green.
But they don't taste like a bean?
No, it's just a little bit different than the green bean. Like it's a
Okay.
green bean, but it's a little bit different taste. They're supposed to be really good in stir fries. Mung
Okay.
beans, I haven't grown. Okra, I've grown. Coconut's big down here. Rice, I haven't seen down here, probably because we have that wet dry thing. Cassava we grow,
Mhm.
and then squash. Yeah, I give that up to the king, as Brooke says. We'll see how that goes because we have blight. We have so much blight.
Uh,
Oh, okay, Lark said that same thing. They are great. Yeah, the long. Yeah, yep.
Are for stir fry. That's right. Because I was like, I
Fancy
think
room.
Larks, I
Okay.
think you grow long beans.
I love the long bean. I mean, I grew a ton. I just didn't know
Mhm.
what to do with them. So thanks,
Yeah.
Larks. Because
Yeah.
they
You need,
weren't, the
yes.
typical green bean flavor for green beans.
Right. It's more of a
Yeah,
your
yard
Asian
long.
dish.
That's another name for them, yard long beans. Long
Okay.
potted cowpea. Yeah, I haven't grown a cowpea. I'm not a big black eyed pea fan. Love
Mm.
pinto. Yep, asparagus snake bean. She's giving all the different names for it. Okay.
G Mama grows hard in the garden. Welcome, welcome
Hey,
in. Thank you so much.
good to see you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not. Hold on. Let me see if we missed that other one that Shawnee
So,
popped in there.
did
Yeah,
we answer?
Aki. We have an Aki tree 2 doors down from me, and sorrel is actually, I believe, sorrel is actually roselle. It's the green part of the roselle. G Mama would know most
Okay.
likely the
Okay.
Jamaican sorrel. But the ackee, if you try and open that fruit and eat it, it's kind of got like an egg consistency. And if you open that on your own, you can poison yourself. You have to wait for this fruit it opens, and then it has black seeds. Don't eat those black seeds. That's another way you can poison yourself. So God bless the Jamaicans that they figured that out. I don't know who the first ones were that like took the hit and
Well,
yeah.
well,
Like, let's see if we can eat this. And
yeah, and it's like, okay, Uncle Charlie, he passed away, and so the
yeah,
next time you go, okay, who's gonna be willing to try the black seed again? Uncle Harry? Yeah, okay. No, Uncle Harry's dead, Uncle Charlie's dead.
yeah.
We will not eat the black seeds. Ugh,
Oh, Richard says they do make popcorn out of the rainbow corn. Okay.
okay.
And then
Does it
you
keep the
can make
colors?
and he said you can make a corn flour if you put it in the coffee grinder. Interesting.
Hmm, I don't know where
Just
you
going
are.
back, I was
Oh,
trying to
there.
find Shawnee's. Desert is cactus, prickly pear, yucca. Okay, that's the 2 C's yucca. So, all right, quinoa, agave. We had a huge agave. What did they do with the agave, Shawnee, other than make tequila? I'm wondering.
Mhm.
The prickly pears, have you guys ever had a prickly pear?
I have not.
I had one. I didn't really care for it. I didn't. But then again, my first dragon fruit, I didn't care for it was red with the white and the black seeds. But when I had a yellow, I was like, that's pretty good. I like
Mm.
that. I wanted to go and find the one before she said, I think it was Thailand. Could go back to that. Okay.
It's like,
Thailand.
Shawnee, you need just to simmer down and slow down for us. We're
Um,
old folk.
I know. Rice, chili peppers. Yep. We can do the chili peppers right now too, going into our heat. Coconut, mango, turmeric, and galangal. Yep. Those are all that. So we can do a lot of those Asian veggies and roots and things like that here where I'm at in 10.
Nice.
But in my climate of 10,
Mhm.
Mediterranean would be different probably.
Right. Lark says, I'll be moving from zone 6B. She's moving on up to
Woo!
8 and 9. She's so
Lucky.
ready.
That's a
That's
great,
very
yeah.
exciting.
But you're used to
Moving on
that
up.
zone. You've been there before, right, Lark? So you're probably like, woohoo. Okay,
Mhm.
Pascal McCarty, I saw your. All right, honey, I'll send it to you. What's my address? I have grown. Oops. Lark, wait a minute. I missed this one. Duncan, I've grown the yard long beans for years. They're great fresh, but I don't care for canning them. Okay.
Yeah. And that's
Uh,
what Lark said. They're not good for preserving.
what about you guys? The seeds, can you use those as beans at all? Because there's so many. When you dry the pods, you get so many seeds because it's a yard long.
Right.
I'm just wondering.
Huh.
This is so funny, like what we were saying. Self-Lare Ascension, I have your address in one of my notebooks, but I don't know which one. I so relate. We relate. We
Yes.
relate.
Yes. Well, which I started making sure I put it into my cell phone, because if there's a power outage, uh, um, and we're not able to contact on here, I still want to be able to at least text you. So it's like it's important to have
Yes.
um, those things not just written down on in your phone because that can
Right.
go away too. So
Yeah.
Shawnee, I have 4 categories for Zone 4B 5A survival crop list. Well, why don't you come up and talk to us
Yeah,
about it, Shawnee?
please. Like, what kind of categories? Like, what do you mean by that? I want more info.
Yes.
I have not. It's still sitting in the box, but I did wet my thanks to Diva, she reminded me. I did wet my little this is broccoli and then I threw some radish uh greens on there. So we'll
Yeah.
see the microgreens. I've got to take them out of this room though because I still don't have an extension cord for my light. And I
Mm.
know my husband will appreciate me not using that.
Oh, my family's done mushrooms and they're very good. These are my radishes, but They smell they smell oh, no, actually, maybe they're broccoli. Maybe that's why they smell so
Weird.
funky. So,
Farty to the
yes,
party.
they're very farty smelling.
Probably definitely broccoli.
So it's probably the broccoli because it was like, "Why does it smell like garbage around here?" But, yeah, so here's my little microgreens that I'm growing from my chicks. I thought I would
Yeah.
give them some nice greens. I do have another one.
Shane, I forgot again what zone you were in, honey. I am so sorry. For us, it's because we are definitely heading right into summer. It's like our spring is like this. It's like a sliver. And then we get into what other people would consider summer. And then Hades
Right.
weather.
Okay, so I think these ones actually,
Oh,
they don't smell as good, I think, and I'm seeing a few little flies, so I think I need to dispose of these ones.
okay.
I wasn't
Then
didn't rinse them. Sent you a picture of gem corn on the
what's that?
place
I don't.
name place app.
Oh, face place. She meant face place. I love Lark's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Tibor came in. Hey, Tibor.
Oh, hey, Tibor, welcome in. I have been talking about what are survival crops for different people's grow zones and specific
That
um,
makes sense.
some of the best ones. I'm just gonna
That makes
see.
sense. Yeah, and I bet, Shawnee, it's like us with the sugar cane that how David the Good and I think Deep South Homestead had their sugarcane presses. It's totally
Oh.
different than what you're getting, and then they cook it down. David the Good did a whole video where he was at a farm that does it. It was really interesting with his kids. It's the corn.
Mhm.
Yeah, isn't it gorgeous? It's so pretty.
So pretty.
I want to just grow
It is really
some.
pretty. This is from Lark.
Oh,
She sent it over.
thank you,
I've
Lark.
seen the multicolored stuff, but like this,
Mhm.
that looks like all sorts of little candies. Hello, little candies, little pink candies,
Yeah, it
blue
does.
candies, green candies.
But I'm wondering what it tastes like without the processing, Shawnee. You know, before because sugar cane juice, although it's not great for, of course, anybody who can't have high glycemic stuff, is loaded with minerals. The juice itself, it's loaded with minerals that are good for us. But of course, moderation. What is galangal? Oh, it's a ginger. It's a type of ginger. Smells delicious, Serena. Just smells amazing.
Are you coming up, Shawnee Grows?
I
So
shouldn't
I don't
think.
know if anybody answered Richard about who tried mushrooms. I did say my kids did, and man, are they
Yeah,
ever tasty. We grew them inside.
I have that box that I need to still wet down and try.
Yeah. Actually, I think I bought one. I think
Yeah.
Marissa bought one from the big box store, and then I bought one
Mhm.
as well.
Me too.
And then I don't
Marissa.
know where it is. I don't know. I
Mine's
don't.
over here.
Well, good. I'm glad you know where yours is. Good.
You don't know? Maybe if you call it, like, how we do that with our phone. Hey,
Yeah,
Mr.
where is it?
Mushroom, what room are
Mhm.
you in?
Oh, yeah. So Lark says, "Yes, I grew up there, going back to my roots. And this
Woohoo.
winter here reconfirmed why." Good
Right.
morning, Anne from Anne's Place. We're
Good
glad to
morning,
have you
Mom.
here. Probably hasn't quite had breakfast quite yet. No, on the long beans for eating. Easy to save for
Uh,
regrowing, though.
yes, lots of seeds to share.
Mhm.
Lots when you grow
You
those.
can dry and use the seeds, but not
Oh,
as a bean. And Shawnee says, "I will be right there."
yay!
And GT Junior driving him, but listening. Ah, that's
Yay!
great. I'm
Yeah.
glad that we get to keep you company while you're driving there, sir.
Yeah.
I
Love
didn't
that.
send out the link, but the link is in the chat, but I can also send it to you specifically, GT, if you are wanting to come up and show us your face and make me stay longer than what I need to.
I must wet my plants. That's right. I wet my plants. I must wet my plants. That's what I was out there doing today. My plants. We have been having, like everybody else, such weird weather, and we will get a little bit of a rain, thinking we're going to get a good Florida rain.
Soak.
No,
Mm-mm.
no. Jeez.
So Tibor says, I hope I didn't miss anyone. I'm doing the laundry to take to the hospital.
Oh
You must explain a little bit more of that because
no! Is it the Mrs. T4? Is she okay? Did she fall again?
Miss Sharon says to you, GT, yeah, Girls at Alaska, please be safe.
Yes. Drive
So,
safe,
and
GT.
Shawnee
My
did
brother.
welcome you to Survival Crops for Alaska.
There
So
you
what
go.
are those survival crops? Lots more people saying
Moose,
hello.
elk.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage my other co-host, Shawnee Grove.
Yay!
Hello, everyone.
And her
Welcome,
dirt
welcome.
merch.
I do have it on.
Yes.
That's right.
Get your merch.
How do I delete that? Stop sharing. That's what I do. So you just, like, why didn't I just talk to you about, okay, what other things should I research from you, Miss Shawnee? Like you, because I don't know, you put paragraphs up in the chat.
And what was the 4 things, the categories? What did you mean by that?
First of all, if you want to pin your StreamYard link, that'd be easier for people to find it because it's not pinned in the chat.
The link.
The link to come up here. So,
Yes.
if you know what I'm talking about, okay.
Mhm.
My
Yeah, I couldn't find
categories are obviously we're talking about your high calorie and they have potential for storage, and I want to categorize that as I don't want to can it or freeze it. I want it to either stay in the ground, be in a fridge or a cold room, or just sit on the shelf is one category.
Mhm.
Eating fresh
Mhm.
is one category. Quick to grow. Like, I'm actually running out of things. I need something quick, right? And then
Mhm.
the fourth is, what does my state produce that we
Yes.
sell to the
I've done
country?
that.
And I
Yep.
have all of those
Mhm.
listed here.
Mhm.
So a lot of the 4B, 5A survival crops are exactly what you said. The white potato, a russet, yellow Yukon Golds, red Pontiacs. Potatoes are very common all over the world. Your
Mhm.
winter squash, we talked about. Pick your poison, which one you want, right?
Mhm.
I am a big fan of carrots, and you have to look at a storage carrot variety. I have to grow popcorn for my kiddos, right?
Mhm.
It's very
Mhm.
Right.
nutritious. It
Yeah.
stores on the shelf dried.
Right.
And then your grain corn, if I had the thing to grind it up and have tortillas,
I
right?
have one.
I would do that. I would like the pumpkins to have the pumpkin seeds, honestly, to roast and eat the
Yes.
seeds, not so
Yes.
much to eat the pumpkin, honestly.
Right.
Snow, oh my.
Wow.
Your dried beans, things that we use in our house are a white bean, a pinto bean, a kidney bean. We don't use a black bean. And instead of growing 3 different ones, I've been just growing the Good Mother Stallard or the 1500-year-old cave bean. That's what we did last year. And we've had good results with using that in those same implements that you would use those other beans for.
What are the
Having a
flavors like the 2 that you're
So it's
mentioning?
very large and more meaty to
Okay.
make a paste.
Nice. Okay.
Where like when I think of a Great Northern white bean, it's a smaller bean,
Okay.
right?
Right.
Mhm.
So if that size matters to you, then yes, you would grow a variety. Now that I know how easy it is to grow a bean to dry, I might experiment with different types. Now that
Right.
I know I can do it and I got them on the
Mhm.
shelf and everything's okay.
That's a great hunger gap one too, like your video
Definitely.
Mhm.
about
Mhm.
beans.
I would like
Or yeah,
to I would like to get some of those beans that you just mentioned. Or
Yeah.
that one
the
that you
Good Mother
the
Stallard, and it's very similar as the 1500-year-old cave bean. Yeah, they have the same
okay.
kind of coloring, the same kind of size,
Oh,
very meaty,
Yeah.
makes a good paste.
that's
Yeah.
very Richard, that is scary. They had Mexico had a mouse.
The moss, yeah. I
That's
know.
horrible.
The power of
I didn't
nature,
see that.
right?
Right. Right.
Having a storage cabbage so it can stay on the shelf for longer or in a fridge and a
Mhm.
decent size. Obviously, a silver maple tree needs to be around me so I can have my sap to make syrup. Having your storage onions and garlic, because not all onions are a storage variety. Apples are important here. They are able to sit in a crate in a cold area for many
Mhm.
months. So having
Mhm.
apples. Sunflower seeds are super important to me. Having honey. I don't know if we can count that,
Mhm.
but if we can, then that's on the list of growing things.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
I think so.
Right?
I
Or
think
for
so.
trade, like things that we could trade for that we might not
Yes.
be able to do on our own.
Yes.
Like, what can I grow that might be able to trade or barter for that honey that I want or those chicken eggs that I want, like,
Right.
especially being in the city? I think
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah.
Your offsite garden it's quite a big piece of land, right, for you that you get to use, Shawnee?
Yep. Yeah.
It
I kind of
So
is.
have free
then
range.
right. But like your lot, is it 1 or 2 acres or
2.5.
2.5?
But
Right. So
there's,
then that's where
buildings and driveways and yeah.
yeah, yeah. But you could also go and approach um, a beekeeper and say, "Would you like to put your hives on my
Yeah.
property?"
So we just talked about this with the landowner last week, and it's tricky to find an area where it's quiet enough because we don't want to be driving tractors near bees. They get upset.
Right.
And it's a high traffic sound on one side. So when the field
Right.
gets dealt with, we can't put it near the field because unfortunately that side that we touch isn't the organic one that's across the road. Um, Now we do have access to some woods on another family member's land in proximity to the garden, so we might offer that over there eventually. But yes, we
Mhm.
actually just talked about that. For eating fresh, I don't know, but can we grow chickens to have eggs? Does that count? Because I'd
I
like
think so.
eggs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then your perennial fruits, of course. Now, I
Yes.
put that as eating fresh because you have to do something to it to keep it
Mhm.
Yeah.
preserved. So I would just eat that fresh. And then your kale and Swiss chard for your raw greens in a
Yum.
safe
Yeah.
amount,
Yeah.
of course. Your quick
Mhm.
growing things, like let's say we're running out of food and I need to get something in the ground so I can eat. You're going to have radish on that list, your bush green beans, your sugar snap peas, green onions, and sprouts. That's going to get you some kind of nutrition in a quick form.
Mhm.
The list, my last thing here, and then I'll stop, is
No, it's
No, you're
good.
good. It's really good.
the what grows here in Minnesota. Our top crops that we produce for the world: wild rice, sugar beets, barley,
Mhm.
oats, green peas, red kidney beans, sweet corn, grain corn, soybeans, and sunflower seeds are on the
Mm,
top list.
okay.
And now I'm done.
Wow.
I would
That's fantastic.
I would love some
So they
sunflower.
grow here, right? Like I should be
Right.
growing all of that, right?
Right.
Mhm.
But, like, do they grow monocropping with help? Because it's the same thing with us. There's a huge corn field that uh, out west where they grow corn, but they're monocropping it. Like when they come in for the season, they're using like what you told Diva to do with the mounding up and the valleys and who knows what else that
Making the
is
swales.
making the swales. Thank you. Making the swales. Um, but they're covering it with that white plastic. Like there's a lot more. It's like very intensive and it's not
Mm.
organic. So,
Right. So for our survival garden, we don't care what they're doing because we're
yeah.
growing our own, right?
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. No, but I mean, like, I might not be as successful with the corn because I don't have all that input and I'm not going to be spraying the out of my backyard.
That's a
Right.
great example of your bartering system you spoke about, Carol. I
Mhm.
do have resources for a sweet corn and a onion and potato farms because I
Yeah.
am not good at growing them at the moment because it's not just about putting a seed in the ground, right?
Right.
That's where that understanding your local food connections really comes into
Yes.
play. Get your notebook out and keep track of
Mhm.
where it is,
Yeah.
drivable distance.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Not too far.
Yes, that's important to know, like those kind of connections. You know, I know in my group at my church, they all said, "Yeah, so if we lose, if something goes kind of sideways, we're all coming to your house, Maureen,
Oh,
because
bless
you've got
you.
chickens and you've got sourdough bread, and
I
so
am so sorry, Tibor. They're
mm,
looking at possible bone cancer for his wife.
yeah, yeah, I've been
Definitely
putting it.
praying for
Yeah,
you, Tibor, and her.
yeah.
So
Lots of
sorry.
people were all saying that they are sending
Mhm.
prayers for encouragement and peace.
Mhm. Yes.
Hmm. So, Richard, friend of mine, Adam Farms with Bees, rents out beehives to farmers. The hives are on a little stand with a big rock on top to protect from the honey badger. Mm,
Ooh, you got those? Yeah.
honey badger.
Nasty. They are
What's a honey
mean.
badger?
Let me hear. I'll get
Oh,
it.
you're gonna
I'll
go get
look
it?
it up. They are
I'd
not
like to see what a
nice.
honey badger is. I've been learning all
Yeah.
sorts of things. I
Mhm.
today I had all day I had my green shirt on backwards all day.
Sounds like one of my days.
It wasn't until I just sat down here and I thought, this seems odd that why is it up at my neck? But mind you, it still is up at my neck.
Mhm.
But where I'm at in my little life, I'm
This
trying
is a
to,
honey
oh, that's a honey
badger.
badger.
Yes, but they've got, from what I remember, maybe this shows it. Those claws. Look at the front of that.
Wow.
Yeah, they are not
So
nice.
need a pedicure,
Yeah, totally.
manicure, pedicure. So need a pedicure.
Total manicure pedicure. I forget what they are related to. It's an animal in Alaska that's just as nasty, but very not nice. Not a nice animal. But
Mhm.
it's doing its thing for, ecology and its system that it's in.
Tibor says, thank you all. And we
Oh,
will continue to keep you in prayers because it's a very, very stressful time
right.
and will be a stressful time for the two of you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so honey badgers do love honey a lot. I would assume so because they are called a honey badger.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
but so uh, so in my week of being unsupervised, um, so I was on chicken, wake up every day. Um, and unfortunately, it didn't encourage me to go to sleep earlier. So it was still 2:30, 3. So I was living on very little sleep, but I got a lot of work done. I was able to stack all of the um, monkey puzzle tree wood that was in my truck that was starting to get moldy, fuzzy on it. I got it
Mm.
all out and into the compost bin, but first I had to take the 8 wagon loads of compost that were in there, put it around. And
With a shovel by hand, folks.
it was
Wow.
a shovel by hand. Oh, and chicken claw, because there was a little chicken claw that was in there too. She was moving. Cleo was with me, so
Aw.
she was up in the piles. But so I did a lot of kind of these things that have been like, oh, get it done, get it done, get it done. Each and every day it seemed like I did something. But right now I'm going to be middle of the month. I'm going to be going up to spend some time with my mom, so my brother can
Nice.
go on a cruise. So I need to get Miss Cleo out of my bedroom. And so
Mhm.
she spent a lot of time today. I did isolate Betty because Betty is the bully, Black Betty the bully.
Oh
So
no.
Betty is in the hospital. She is none too happy about it. Mind you, she is being when I do let her to come out which I should ask you, Larks. And I was like, I need to text Larks and ask her. When you are trying to break a chicken who is a bully and you're trying to upset the pecking order, do I need to keep her isolated completely? Or can she, be at large with the group and then, but nighttime she's on her own by herself? I would like to know. Um, and whether that is, but anyway, so tonight I did leave Cleo. She is now, about a week ago, if I called in the chickens, she just stayed in the garden beds and went, bye bye, I live in the big house, I am a bougie chicken living in a big house. But the last couple of days she's coming up with all the chickens and getting the treats and stuff. And I thought, okay, I'm going to leave her and I'll go out at 6. And sure enough, everybody was up. I don't think, like, she doesn't have the ability to get up on the roosting bars. And I don't know if she tried to get up on the plank and then was
Oh,
booted out. And so this is where I'm going to have, difficulty going, because when I'm gone, it's like Marissa cannot have a chicken in her bedroom with her every night.
right. Clicking on the
So,
wrong side again. Did you see Larks? It says.
yes, no, you can put her in a bully pen in with the chickens, but demote them. They are still in the area, but not having the same free range for at least 72 hours. Okay, so there was points where she was, if allowed to be with them during the day, she will still bully. Yes. So there were points yesterday where her first day in, and I let the other ones out. She was out for a little bit, and then eventually she went up into, because it's just a little, it's like for 2 chickens, and she went up into the coop and she wouldn't come out. It was like, I don't want them to see me like this. I'm all alone. But yeah, I don't see her necessarily bullying when they're free ranging. I think she's picking on one that's in the back there. So anyway, I will kind of keep her more isolated, but have the ladies come around so that, it's like, yeah, you can't get them. You can't go and beat up Gwendolyn because that's who she's beating up.
Right. Sometimes you wonder if they just need like a hormone pill or something. Like
You know what?
some of them are a
You know
little
what?
more
You need
hormonal
just to
than others.
calm down. Calm down.
Yeah, you need a little chicken Xanax with a little hormone pill to fill you out.
Pull out the bully, but also put Cleo in on the roost at night so she wakes up with them.
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't know that Cleo can get down without hurting herself. That's my concern, is that because like some days I have a little, like one of my 3-tiered garden bed about yay high, and sometimes she can give herself enough air with her wings to get up. Today she tried and she didn't, and then she just kind of hooked her beak on the little thing. I meant to not do that, and I don't want to look like I'm stupid. I was doing this on purpose. So
I have a question on I don't raise chickens, so pardon me here. Can you put a roosting bar a couple inches off the ground so she's closer to it? Is that even a thing? Like, does it do the same purpose for them?
I don't know. I do have a little mini one.
Yeah.
And I was trying it tonight in there, but she was like, I don't know what this is. She was freaking out.
Okay.
And so I just let her go in. And actually, even in the hospital, there is a roosting bar, but Betty does not want to sit in it. She's just sitting in the wood shavings at this point right now. Yeah. So, but yes, that has been my thought, is like, I feel like, the Rocky theme is going to be playing. Dun, 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 dun. And I'm going to bring this little chicken out, and we're going to try stepping up, little steps, stepping up, stepping off.
Oh, the roost based on seniority. So maybe a ramp. Is that possible? Like a little
Ah,
ramp
yes,
or
an
a
extra ramp.
board? Yeah, with like
Yeah.
maybe some kind of traction on it so she can walk up it.
Yes, that it could be a thing to try because it's like somehow she has to get up. And
Right.
all of my chickens, they all like it's a U shape
Mhm.
style and everybody's on the top. And I wouldn't
Yeah.
want her on the bottom like anything down. But I'm concerned about her trying to get down and cuz she's
Right.
still pretty shaky.
Yeah.
So,
It's too bad you can't put like they don't have like a little book end to where you could just do a ramp on one side and she's got this bookend on the other to support her in case she gets a little shaky and then she can always go down the ramp
yeah.
if she's
Yeah.
not feeling quite right.
Yeah, Anne
Yeah.
says, "I have a tiny hen, smallest of all, and she's so feisty. No one's allowed to go near her when she eats. She kicks them all away. Same with the water. She also kicks whomever is close.
Oh my
She's like,
gosh.
no, you get
Sounds like
away."
little Napoleon complex. Yeah.
Hmm.
The small ones are feisty. Don't ask me how I know. Mm.
7 CT scans and 7 MRIs is coming from
Oh,
Tibor. Oof.
so hard. That's what
Hmm.
Steve and I were just saying earlier. Like it just keeps coming. You just keep doing life and it just
Yeah.
keeps coming.
And 3 X-rays. To calm anxiety in chickens, you can feed them crops like lavender, pumpkin, fennel, lemon, balm,
Mhm.
and sunflowers, as these plants have calming properties and can reduce stress in poultry. That is true. I have a line. There's a woman who creates a lot of different water additives, and they're all natural.
Mhm.
Many of them have like a bit of a minty smell, but there is one that I was giving today, and it's like when there is that kind of oxidated stress, it actually calms them down. So it's what I
Mhm.
used when I started incorporating. It's like this is the
Mhm.
water we're going to drink. We're going to drink the calming, peaceful water. And
I did that with my parrot, my girl, who was
mhm,
hormonal.
yeah,
That
and I
sounds
I
like
do
a
I chamomile flowers and chamomile tea, and it helped her.
yeah.
Little
Yeah, so
dried.
these are directly for the chickens, and so there is one that helps with eggs, and it's all medicinal herbs that are in this liquid.
Mhm.
Can you make
Mhm.
a short about that?
There you go.
Or
Yeah.
is that like controversial, like channel could get in trouble stuff? Like, do you think
Yeah.
we could share about that? And
I
or
don't
no?
see why not if people are making teas and salves and
Okay.
things and like I don't know. It's so inconsistent
In your
because it's
heart, Diva, do you feel like it's right for your channel? I guess is my
there you
question.
go. That's a good question.
Um,
Miss
I don't
Chicken
know what the
Doctor.
controversy. Yeah, well, I play a chicken doctor on YouTube, of
Yeah,
course.
I
Yeah.
know.
Why not?
Yeah. Why not?
This would promote this woman's company. Like she's in Quebec.
There you go.
Um,
Would you want to ask her first and get some kind of agreement?
mhm. Yeah, I
Mm,
could try that.
okay.
Yeah, but even if I didn't, I like the products. Like they've got probiotic ones. You're just adding it into the water, and it's designed um, to for better health for your chicken.
I think it
One
should be
for
talked about.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
respiratory, and there's ones that helps to strengthen
I
eggs, and
agree. Yep.
yeah.
I
So
agree.
yes, I could do that.
Yeah.
I'll just write it on the list of things I'm gonna email you next week.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Wow.
Mm,
That's a bit sad there, Garden Warrior.
yeah.
Lark says Cincinnati's a great place, Tibor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Hmm. Thank you for feeling comfortable enough to share with us. I've been in the hospital for testing and inpatient care. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yes, too many sunflower seeds though can be a bad thing for little chicken livers.
Yes, yes. all bird livers in general. That was
Mhm.
actually how we lost our female because she had fatty liver disease.
Oh.
Yeah, because of the seed mixes. Even
Mm.
though we switched her over like to safflower, it was too late because they love sunflowers and they'll just eat all the sunflowers out of a mix.
Right. Just the seeds, Anne. Thank you, Miss Sharon.
Oh, good job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hoo-hoo.
I have
Um,
I have something to say if there's a gap in the chat here.
yes, there is a gap.
Mm-hmm.
So this is on the back of this book, The Backyard
The back.
Homestead.
Mm-hmm.
It
Nice.
goes from a quarter of an acre, you can harvest 1,400 eggs, 50 pounds of wheat, 60 pounds of fruit, 2,000 pounds of vegetables, 280 pounds of pork, if that's your style, 75 pounds of nuts. And in this book, it guides you through how to set that up.
Nice.
I got it. It's just a fun thing to read. I haven't designed the property around this book whatsoever, but maybe I
Right.
should look at it. And I just thought that was funny. The number part was funny. That's all. I just wanted to
Yes.
share the
Right.
numbers. A quarter of an acre, if you plan it out properly. Now, I could probably find a picture while you guys chat amongst yourselves.
I thought I put my 2 books. Hold on, my new.
Okay,
That's
so
very interesting.
they
I
have
know.
the
Right.
quarter of the acre laid out for you, and they've numbered each of the areas on what's going on. And like you can see where the
Wow.
house is. It's very
Really
meticulously
nice.
thought out. And then they
Yeah.
also have like if you have some more space, look, boom, cow, moo, you
Mhm.
know.
Moo cow. I wonder if
That's
my
So
very
4
interesting.
so let's
oh,
see. 1 is vegetables, 2 is fruits and nuts, 3 is herbs, 4 is grains, 5 is poultry, 6 is meat or dairy, 7 is wild. It has beehives listed
How
for
many
that.
chickens do they have? That's what I want to
Okay,
know.
12.
12.
Hmm.
Right. Okay.
And so the
Yours says
chicken
good one.
5. Now this I don't agree with. Well, the 5 is furthest away on this page. The 5 is where they say the chickens are, and look how far away from the house that is.
Mm.
Now,
Mm.
I think your setup is the chickens are on the outer edge of the property, correct? Away from the
Yes, they
house?
are. Yes, they
So,
are.
is that because of I mean, you're there every day helping them. Why are we putting them so far away?
Oops.
I'm not a
Um,
chicken grower, so I don't know.
Smells.
Right, Carol, is that really what it comes down to?
but if you but it's like but if you are on top of keeping wood shavings,
Yeah.
Deep
there's a bit of
bedding?
smell. Yeah, there's a bit of smell in the morning, but once it gets kind of mixed in through the day, it's fine.
Mhm.
Mine are on the outside, yes, but you definitely want to have your chickens near to where your gardens are, so
Right.
that you can
I
throw
agree.
in stuff in. Like I think chickens should be in the center
You're
of.
awake, Mark? What? Sorry. You could sorry, I interrupted.
Don't text him. You can just ask him here. What the heck are you doing up, Mark? It's bedtime. Sleepy,
I don't know what's in the
sleep,
future.
sleepy, sleep. Well, definitely chickens are in the future.
I agree. We might get them sooner than later.
Yes. Yeah, see, Anne says I hardly have smells. Same with mine. Like even in the coop, it's all about keeping that sanitation balance. Um, and it's because of the wood shavings. You make sure that you've got lots of them going on. Um, so you want to have it where you can be able to put, veggies into the coop or into their run, but also you want to have access to their poop so that you're not dragging it far, far away. For how my setup is, it was just the convenience of behind my greenhouse studio. I had all this space that wasn't being used. And the great thing is that it stays very cool through the summer for the chickens. It's one of the coolest places on
Oh,
the yard.
okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yes.
Two things came to mind, but I might have lost them just now. Um, I remember reading about what crops to grow for chickens, rabbits, and ducks. We talked
Right.
about over at Shawnee Grows on a previous live stream, and one of the ideas was having a fruit tree in their run. And now that could lead to predators coming and taking them out, to know your predators in your area. But then that dropped fruit that you missed, they now are taken care of, and you're not having to go and move it twice, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I actually I attempted to put raspberry canes because my girls love raspberries. So I've got some
Oh.
raspberry canes in the corner. I'm
Mhm.
hoping will grow so that they can pick those themselves. And it'd
Yeah.
be their little fruit because it's like it's hard to get anything to grow that they're not going to just dig up. So the only time my deep bedding smells is if the left brain spills water or food in the coop. Yep. That is when it happens. And then you got to pull it all out. So, deep bedding and like actually what I found this year, which is my first year to try it, was because my wood chips didn't really the ones that I got delivered in and I hired someone to move them all back there. They were breaking down too fast. Like everything was turning into soil. Like it was like,
Such a problem.
well,
I know, I
yes.
know. It is
I,
for the
I,
use you wanted them for, yeah.
because they needed to be there through the winter season so they're not in the mud. So I put hay down and that worked great with the snow. If the snow came because it's just like larks her chickens do well, mine don't look at it as lava, but her chickens like they go, that's lava, we don't go out to the lava, it'll
Lava.
burn us, lava. Mine would venture somewhat but not too far, but anyway.
I do have this one. It's the Buffalo Bird Woman's Garden. And
Oh.
so she is a Hidatsa Indian born in 1839, expert gardener, everybody. And so this book talks about how they did stuff. We're probably going to do a live stream about it. It does talk about the
Mm,
corn, squash, beans, and sunflowers in
yeah.
the bottomlands of the Missouri River in what we now call North Dakota. And so I think it's just fascinating to know how they did things, how they laid out the plan, the plot, what tools they used,
Yeah.
how everyone had a job. I think it's important.
Yes, that would be an awesome live. Ah.
Tibor, sharing is fantastic verbal expression to process emotions. And so we are all listening ear for you. No pressure.
Mhm. Yeah. I know we have other conversations going on, but I know that, as the conversation continues, Tibor, it's I know in my own heart, it's like I just feel like, sending out love and hugs, and just something to kind of, send that lift up for you and your missus. So um you are not far from our thoughts, even though we are talking about other things. um I feel like everybody here just kind of shares in carrying this burden with you because you are part of our community, and so when one of our community is a little bit weakened, then we like to circle around, bring the wagons, come on, circle around.
That's
So we
right.
are with you.
We will light a fire. We will gather.
Hmm.
That's right.
A tortoise in my garden, I can never find them, but when the peaches start falling off the trees, then they're eating the peaches. Huh. Isn't that funny that you can't find them? That's so very cool. Hmm. Shawnee's saying, I would love that. They're my favorite turtles and such.
So, Tibor,
Ah.
that is happening. I'm going to use the word constantly, it feels like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And hugs to you.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys carry on.
Mhm.
So I'm very sorry, Tibor.
Right. Me too. Saw mushroom mark right after that. Rebellious.
Yeah, he's got to work on stuff. I would love to share a story
Oh
about
dear.
plants in the house. And is it a
Okay.
good idea to have plants in the bathroom?
Orchids love the
Yes.
bathroom.
I think it is a good idea.
Yes.
But sometimes household members have a trouble with it,
Hmm.
and sometimes dirt ends up out of the container where it shouldn't be. And that might have happened today. And that's what I'll say.
Was it the plants that you had up last night?
Nope. Mark, I thought I told the story really well. Settle down. I
So
cleaned it up.
is this the person that is the culprit
A family member that has difficulties with plants in the house.
in the bathroom? No, Anne, if you're not catching it, there is like, really, Shawnee, did you really have to tell that story?
I did.
Mm.
I can tell Diva to edit it out.
Or you could just say it backwards.
Yeah.
We know nothing. We heard nothing.
We know nothing. We saw
We know
nothing.
nothing. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So Anne's has caught on, which is good that what's happening. So. But yeah, usually plants in the bathroom are a really good thing because it's humid in there. So typically it should be good.
See, I wasn't going to give them a visual, Mark. you just
knocked it on myself getting out of the shower. It's fine. It happens. Says
soil is good for your skin.
That's right. He was exfoliating. He had to just wanted a little exfoliate.
Oh, just hop right back in.
Yeah, Anne is coming to your rescue.
Yeah.
If it's not on video, it didn't happen. So it doesn't matter that there might have been dirt and there's a plant knocked over. Never happened. There's no record of it. Yes. Yes, it's very, and we are here with you and for you. Oh, thanks, Larks. Usually people complain about them, but you're like, yay, another one for the diva. It's like, great, she's going to make 17 cents. Yay. I'm not complaining because I used to do these lives and not make 17 cents.
Yeah, for anybody that wants to complain, get YouTube Premium and you will help the content creator and not get ads.
There you go. Tibor, sometimes it's called trauma dump at times that we can't control. It's okay.
Absolutely. No need to apologize.
Right.
It's
a lot you're going through.
Yeah, it is a lot. And like I said, we are here to circle the wagons around you. It does make me emotional, and I'm one that's not afraid to be in a public place and cry. I do it on stage all the time, in things like that. So I'm glad that you're here, and hopefully we can lift your spirits, and also that you sharing with us that, and I would ask that that the spirit would actually come and remind us through the week that if your name comes up, that we just send out a prayer for you and your family, and because sometimes that happens, like someone will pop into my head and I think, why am I thinking about that person? Maybe I just need to send them blessings, and peace or something. And so I am grateful that you were willing to share with us. So no need to apologize, as I said. Richard says, one is called Tripod. I rescued him from someone after someone drove over him. Poor little Tripod. Only has 3 legs. He is surviving just fine in the bottom garden. Oh, Larks. Speaking of monetization, I hit 500 finally. Only took half a decade. Congratulations. Way to go. That's fantastic. Have you been making content? Because if you are, I haven't been seeing it. So if you got to your 500 without making content, that's pretty awesome. That's fabulous. And a huzzah from Shawnee Grows. Yeah.
Yeah, celebrate that.
Yes, exactly.
Marks.
Thank you. Thank you. Didn't post much last summer, but we'll be doing much more once we move starting from scratch. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Anne says to you,
Oh,
Tibor, I'm sure you read it. It helps a lot speaking, and we are here to listen. Mm. Tibor says, wife better know that I love her. Those Gain fabric softeners make my hands itch.
oh,
Yeah. Big congratulations. I don't know if you were away. That you
yeah, that's
heard
great.
that Lark's.
No,
What are
I
you
heard.
snacking on?
I made little like Caesar salad boats out of romaine lettuce
What is the
and
Caesar
turkey.
salad boat? Okay, so it's a lettuce
Just
boat,
like a
and
little
then what?
lettuce, and then I had turkey. They put
Turkey.
turkey in it and I had some nice creamy Caesar dressing, and then I had some Parmesan cheese and some pepper, and instead of croutons, I used sunflower seeds on top.
Oh, I like the crunch. Yeah,
That's so
Gotta have some
delish.
crunch.
very
Just
creative.
so delish.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've run out of my taco salad that I've been having for the last few days. So
I like taco salad. I gave Theron the tacos. Let him have the tacos. I had a couple and then let
We're
him
gonna
finish it all.
grill tomorrow.
It sounds good
grilling.
too.
Grill, yeah.
Yep.
You guys keep reminding me of the things I need to do. I still need
Gotta
to do the bubble
test
test.
your grill,
I
Carol.
know. Summer's coming. I must have my grill.
I can tell another
Mhm.
embarrassing story of Mark if he wants. That happened today.
Poor Mal. Poor Mark's getting outed on
Yeah.
live on all the things.
His he has a
He's
van.
not going to come to my live ever
I
again.
can't
Dang
believe
it.
he's here. Now he knows where I talk about him at. Shucks. No. He's
She
got
doesn't.
oh, he said go for it.
Yeah.
He's got a his daily driver, and then he's got a like a collector vehicle that you can do whatever you want with for fun. It's a van. You
Mhm.
can put what it is in the chat, Mark. And it was at the offsite garden. He went to pick it up today because he's working on his daily driver. And he brought it around with the battery in it and opened the side door, and out came a family of mice. And they skidded into the rain garden. And I go, what was their nest? Because there's always a nest. Guess what they made a
Right.
nest out of? I'll give you some time here. Just take some guesses.
The
Anything?
stuffing of your chairs.
That's a good guess. One more guess, Diva?
Well, it seems like it's something unique. So then my brain tries to overthink, and then I can't
Don't
think of anything.
overthink, yeah. It's an 86 Chevy G10. It's a 4 on the floor. It was
Hopefully,
the
no.
plastic
Carpet.
gloves that you put on to like carpet's a good guess. Right, like the fabric, the fluffy stuff.
Right.
You know the
Mhm.
plastic gloves that you put on to like handle raw chicken or like
Yeah.
grease or sauce? That's what they
Yeah.
chewed up. Was like rubbery
Ew.
plastic thin and made a nest. I was like, "What?
Ew.
Out of that's not even warm." Like
No.
so I don't think there's any damage, and I was like, "Did you bring any back here with you? Did you put a trap in there?" And he thinks they're all
Mm.
gone.
Mm.
Oh, 3 on the floor, sorry. I said it
Mhm.
wrong.
Need those boards. Like,
I will make it, since we're talking about mice. I
Mhm.
am like, so last week I caught 5, right? 2 teeny
wow.
tiny little babies that were like not much bigger than just this much of my finger, and then
Mhm.
2, and then 3 other ones. And caught one Monday night was the last one. Or yeah, Monday was the baby, last little baby. And I have not seen any new poop.
Yay.
So I could be possibly mouse free. That's what I'm hoping for. I did go and chop the magnolia today. So the magnolia has been chopped. So that is
What does that mean?
well, with roof rots, if you have trees close to your house, they will like they can climb up anything, but they will use the tree, climb over, hop onto the roof. So it was like, you need to remove those. So I got out the big, saw thing up and pruned down. I left it in a mess, so that's my bad. We fly to car, and I will be okay. Just Marissa's on her way home, and so
Already?
She's been gone since last Thursday.
Feels like it's only been a couple days.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So
She's gonna have to make an appearance on a live stream now. Talk about it.
Mm.
Let me just see. Yeah, she says we fly out of Calgary at 11:15. So I'll be home after 1, which she said, please don't lock the door because she has no keys.
Oh. Absolutely too much to carry. Too much. No. Poor Larks. Y'all knew the number.
I know. I was
mousetraps.
like, it's so
That's
good
that
to know
right
we're not alone in the war on the
Mhm.
mice stuff because we
I
have
have,
it at the
yeah.
offsite garden. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have the rats all the time. I'll never forget, like, when we first moved in here because the people didn't take out the trash to just the curb and they had it piled alongside the house, I
Wait,
guess.
what?
We didn't have to deal with it, thankfully. That the
Oh.
bank had somebody come in and deal with that, but the
Oh,
neighbors told us. One night we're in our new house, it's still foreclosure, still work, and it's dusk. And I look out, and up our strangler fig tree are all these little mice and rats. They're
mm.
rats. They're rats. All the rats just traveling up the fig tree to go about everywhere that the fig tree was touching because at the time it hadn't been trimmed back. I was like, and it has
Yeah.
holes. Strangler figs are like banyan trees, so they just do all kinds of weird, funky shapes because they come down this way and wrap around the tree. So they're like, that was when I realized, I'm like, they're all in that tree. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
Well, they're all in my house. So it's
That's
just like,
awful.
yeah. So I'm assuming they're going to leave them, but I'm using all different kinds of traps. It's in the studio though right now, separate building. I got a little little sticky thing and I made it into the little cardboard thing, stuffed it in behind where they were going after some powdered milk. And I think they pulled it out. I think they actually pulled the little cardboard thing in there so they could go back. And for some reason now they're eating the slug bait, which I thought maybe you don't like it. Maybe it'll harm you. I'm hoping. So anyway,
Welcome in,
hello,
Nelly.
Food Forest Permaculture. Good to see you here, fellow Earthling, fellow Island Earthling, I should say.
He said 15% of a smorgasbord, bacon on some, peanut butter on some, and cheese whiz on some. These Buckeye mice love cheese whiz. That's hilarious.
Oh,
Hey, did you catch them all then?
Yeah, which I guess
yeah.
cheese whiz did it. Cheese whiz is the trick.
I think I should go get some cheese whiz then.
Yeah,
Because
cheese
I can
whiz and Slim Jims, I've heard, are like really good.
right. I haven't done that one. Yeah, mine all kind of the mice went, yeah, we're not into your peanut butter because I did the peanut butter with the baking soda.
Mhm.
And then they weren't touching my peanut butter. So then I even put chicken treats in them because that's what they go after is my chicken treats. No,
Right.
no, they went, no, we know what you're up to. I think that these are very smart mice is what I'm thinking. The fact that he pulled it, like I've wedged it in so that you have to go in it. It's out, and now there is all this stuff. Ooh.
Hawk.
Yeah.
What?
Check out the channel and watch the short.
Oh. We have to go watch the short.
After you're done here.
Yes.
So later, around please for.
You're breaking up there, little lassie.
Okay. It says internet.
Peanut butter's been working the best. Yeah, peanut butter doesn't work in my home. So, oh, thanks, Larks. 20 cents, 20 cents. Woo, woo. So, yeah, and the hawk was chasing a bird into my house.
That's wild.
So we do need to go and have a look at that. Mush. Yes, I have picky mice, just like I have diva chickens. I have diva mice that live in my home.
Mhm.
Everything is diva-esque in my place, right? Oh, yes. And please remember to hit that like button so that this does get shared out. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the first half of the of our live stream, the first
Great.
hour.
That was
Yes. Oh, there is.
very
There's 24 thumbs up. So everybody was
Woohoo.
very good.
contraband, eh?
Oh, hide your contraband. I'm back from my phone call. Be afraid. Be very afraid. I am hunting for a rabbit. So, yeah, I think when they see one of their
Mhm.
cousins caught in a trap, you got to give them something new. Cheese whiz, let it sit to firm up before putting it in the trap where they run. Okay.
Oh,
Now I need an outside oh, yeah. I know because my there is a I don't know if it's a domesticated cat or if it's a feral cat keeps coming and upsetting my chickens, and so I'm actually in the neighborhood looking for a new live cat trap because I'm going to trap it because I want to let my chickens out, and the bylaw
right.
says that you're not allowed to let your pets run wild um if they're going to be disturbing, and they are
Right.
disturbing my ladies. Like there was we had quite it was probably a good 15-20 minutes that we all had to keep going and talking about the fact that we almost all got killed. All of us almost got killed.
Were they
All of
doing
us got
that?
killed.
Just go there.
Yep. Yeah, no, they just go bop, 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 and then this one bop, 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 and now you got bop, 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 and it's like we're fine, everybody's okay. No, we're not. We almost got killed. Owl house will give you an owl family. Then 1,000 mice are needed
Yes,
for
that's what I
owl
want.
family to eat.
I want that. A screech shell box I want to put up on my
Uh,
palm tree where
that
my
came from
strangler fig is.
Food Forest Permaculture. So Howie, or maybe someone knows, will the owls go after my chickens if I get owls?
We might.
I know I've got an owl that usually hangs out here at some point of the year because I'll hear in the night, it'll go off,
Aw.
Yes, Nightbot is a copycat. But yours is so much more personal. Mhm. Ooh, my Kangal dog is very good. We find 5 or 6 bodies every morning. He gets them as soon as they creep over the wall from the field. I need
Nice. I have a feeling the new dog we got is going to be like that too.
that. Yeah. Welcome
Once
back, Storms,
she's
Raiders, and Cats.
once she's comfortable. The dog next door is that way with possums. If a possum goes over there, bless
Mm.
it, it's going to meet Jesus because that dog over there. This
Mm.
is a website where you can. I don't know if I've got it shared yet. Where you can build your own nest box. I think it has plans somewhere on here, and it just tells you all about the screech owls, which we have. We have the eastern screech owls down here. That's the one that came into my patio one night. They're so cute, and they can eat a bunch of rats for me. But yeah, there's the
Mm.
plans there. Boop, boop. That's what I wanted to do, but I wanted to do it with, I need to make sure the measurements are right for just some cedar fence pickets to keep the cost lower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, their little chicken lives pass before their little angry beady eyes. Yes, very much so. It was pretty. And then I don't know what was going on this morning, but I put out breakfast and everybody kind of grazed by breakfast and then got up on the compost bins. And it was like, yeah, we're not coming down. So I don't know if the cat had made its entrance or something had made its entrance at some point. But mm, um
I think Laura had an owl that was also removing the heads of her chickens, Howie. I don't know. I don't think it was a hawk. 'Cause she was just finding her headless chickens like the next morning.
yeah, and
Disturbing.
Anne says most probably feral cat. My domestic cats are friends with our chickens, but they maybe grew up with them. I think
Right.
if I was to introduce a cat, I don't know that it would do well. Like when we had a dog, we had my daughter's dog, the chicken babies, they come and they get used to the dog. And obviously I don't have that problem with these with all these
Right.
cats. No mice, no rats.
Nope.
There you go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Catlandia.
Yeah. I don't yeah. So I know that there is an owl that will hang out here, but not permanently. So yes, Jack Russells will do that, Richard.
Yes.
Yours truly, Natasha. Welcome in. Hawks will take chickens, yes. And my chickens, I am able to go hawk, and everybody will go running. Owls will need 1,000 mice per year. Well, I know that I had about 20,000. No, I didn't have that many.
You should maybe just get one for indoors. Could you rent one? Just
well, I've got a chicken
perch it.
indoors. What?
Yeah, might as
Why
well
not have an owl indoors
just
too?
perch it in the house in the middle of the night.
Yeah. So yeah, the dumb ones. They're like, I'm sure that I can go and find Billy out there. Billy, I know he's out there. I should go find him.
Right.
No, he's gone. I have Buddy, and he would probably just shake his head if he saw a mouse. And there's people saying some hellos to yours truly, Natasha. Tibor, leave kitchen waste in the open and mice will come for it. And a wise owl feast. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, can't help it.
No, I think he will give you a cat to take with you. You're smarter than a mouse.
Yes.
Okay, you had your cats long before you got chickens. Right. Okay. So there you go. You can be set up with a cat. Oh, you got muskrats. I was hoping the peregrine falcons would attack the muskrats, but not so far. They eat up the squirrels.
Oh, wow.
She's only half joking. Half joking. So just send her one. Just send her one.
Could be a falconer. There you go. You'd be like really cool, like Beastmaster. Just get yourself a falcon next.
Richard says, my dad had a pet owl called Orrible. He ate mice in the barn until he couldn't fly anymore.
Aw, bless him.
Yeah. The exterminator says, if you see one mouse there, it's the 30 you don't see. It's true. Well, I studied the rats, and if one rat, you can follow the lineage to 30,000 rats in the course of a year.
Gross.
Yeah. So gross. But we are just past 2 hours, and I do want to close this down because I need to try to get myself into bed early. Right. Number one. But number two, I just would like to have an opportunity for people to be able to to listen to this and the replay later on. And so 4-hour replay can be intimidating for someone, but 1 to 2 hours, maybe not so much.
And before we go.
Oh my gosh.
That is
so cute.
They are cute. I thought, like in Alaska, I think they eat them. They eat like muskrat? They're like a survival food. Yeah. I think it's a muskrat that they eat. I don't know what he's chowing down on, but
he's eating something.
Yeah, it almost looks like some kind of snake. Yeah, he's a biggie. They're a biggin. But it's not like it's a nutria, but still. Yeah. Big enough. There's a short out there where a guy has a nutria. It's the size of a cat. Ugh.
Yeah, muskrats look like rats.
Pretty much.
Good night, Howie. And night. Gear. Good to see you. Gear grade 19. Thanks for coming in. What in Alaska do they not eat? Yes.
Right.
real survival up there. Real
Right.
survival. So yes, so saying hello to Gear from Larks and good night from Duncan, 1900 Homestead. And they're all cute, dry, but but they will ruin a pond.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Miss Carol, for being on panel, and also Miss Shawnee, and for Miss Sharon for putting up everybody's channel, always being
Yes,
such a
thank
great
you.
moderator. We do really appreciate it. And tomorrow, going live, will be Shawnee Grows, and you can click that link. And if you want, you can also click the notify me so you don't miss out. Because tomorrow night is going to be game night.
We are celebrating the last days of winter with some chillaxed games, and you can chat and come on panel and
Fun.
stuffs.
Very fun.
Yep. And also there is my Seed Time affiliate link. So for myself, like I said, next Saturday, I've been hired out to do a shishi poo poo gig. It was just got booked last night.
Nice.
So which is great. So I will not be going live, and I think Shawnee, you might come and book something for next Saturday.
Yes, I will be live. To be
Okay.
determined which thing we're doing, though.
Right. And then the following week, I will be in my former hometown with my mom, which I might go live because I have been chatting with Jevin Ballantyne from A Bee for All Seasons. So
neat.
I'm thinking of having him and Anna, his wife, up and doing an interview with them. So that is
lovely.
possibly going to be scheduled for what would be the 15th, I think, of March.
Correct.
I should look at. Okay, so that's Saturday night.
Saturday.
So yeah, so if you see advertisements for it, it means that yes, it is a go, and if not, then it might be for when I get back. But it's always nice for me to do one when I'm there. So
for sure.
And howdy, folks, and marigolds from Gear Gridden. You're very welcome, Tibor, and we will hold you up and your family.
Absolutely.
So lots of love going out to you. Oodles of love. And so
I don't know.
that,
oh, go ahead. You
No.
say goodnight. We'll talk
No.
after. I was going to say the two people that I had lined up possibly for interviews, like nursery owners.
Yeah.
The day that Ressie passed,
Okay.
the guy who had the FB group kicked me out because I guess he saw that I was going to interview them, and like was like, no, and boop, I got kicked out.
So wait, is the interview scheduled or not?
It's not scheduled, but I have them. I have at least one of them that I can still do the interview with. The other one, I'm not sure. I have to make some more connections outside the group. So
Well, thank you all again so much for coming out, and take care. And I hope that with everything that was that I chatted with, if there is something in that list that you don't grow, I hope that you'll take on the challenge of going, I'm going to grow that this year. I'm going to try one of those things. I'm going to try many other things that I suck at, like the onions and the carrots and the radishes. I'm going to, I'm dedicated to try them again each year. Richard says my daughter's birthday is the 20th of March and my granddaughter's is the 22nd of March. So I have cakes to bake. Shawnee loves cake. So you might need to send Shawnee a cake too.
Tell us all about it when it comes to the time.
Yes. So good night. God bless you all. And special blessings to Tibor and his missus. Good night.
Good night.